It's time for the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Each week, Trading Stocks Made Easy demystifies stock trading and investing so you can profit big. And now, here's the host of Trading Stocks Made Easy, the wealthy investor, Tyrone Jackson.
Hey, it's Tyrone Jackson, the wealthy investor, and welcome back to another episode of Trading Stocks Made Easy. I'm so grateful for all of you who actually listen to the show, and I'm told that you get a lot of value out of it, which is one of the reasons that I started podcasting in the first place, because now I have the opportunity to reach the entire planet with a message that I think is important to me. I'm told that a lot of you who actually listen, you listen to other shows as well. You have your favorite podcast, and Trading Stocks Made Easy happens to be one of them. So today I thought I'd do something a little bit different on the show. I am going to share with you today my 5 secrets for success in business and with money. My 5 secrets for success with business and money. Now, what I think is really interesting, most of you who listen to the show on a regular basis, you realize I didn't come from a wealthy family at all. In fact, it's quite the contrary. I was raised by a single mother who struggled just to pay the bills. And I always, for reasons that I still really can't explain, I was always attracted to money and wealth and success. I didn't want to be broke. I didn't want to be poor. I didn't want to try to figure out how to pay the bills. And I certainly didn't want to just get by in life. So one of my hobbies in life was to begin to study wealth, to begin to study how people got rich, to begin to study the vehicles that take you there, and why some people are successful financially and in business, and why others became one of my biggest concerns. And in order to get good at something, I found that I really had to study it. I had to take notes and be very observant and notice patterns. Now, when I was in college, I was a psychology major, because I was always fascinated by people and the mind and perception and people's habits. And so I figured I'd take some of that understanding that I had as a psychology major in college, and I would simply apply it to money. There's a great saying out there, which is success leaves clues. And if you can discover enough patterns in people, you can duplicate them. So if my quest was to be successful financially above and beyond anyone else in my family, in the world that I grew up with, it became quite obvious to me that I was going to have to study some patterns. I was going to have to learn the patterns. I was going to have to learn how rich people think, what they feel, what are their priorities above and beyond just things. You see, the things that we accumulate in our life is largely due to our consciousness and our money beliefs. So I'm going to share with you just 5 things that I think will help you in your life create greater financial success in your life, in your business, or in anything that you pursue in the world as it relates to outer things, outer success. Now, anything that I say here on this particular podcast, if you happen to have a strong disagreement with that, that's fine. Just let it go. I'm not telling you that these principles will work for everyone. I've just found value in them. And a lot of the people who I am around who are self-made people utilize these principles that I'm about to share with you now. So let's work our way from number 1 on down to number 5 in no particular order, just principles. And again, if there's something I say that doesn't make sense to you, it's simply not for you. It's not for your reality. The only thing that I ask is that you do the first thing on the list if you'd like more success, is to just keep an open mind. So number 1 in my 5 secrets to success is to keep an open mind. Now, here's how I came up with this concept and this idea of keep an open mind. Your mind, your brain, your thoughts are very, very powerful. You see, our brain is sort of kind of like a computer, and the information that we put into it helps it process. Your desire, where you'd like to go, is going to feed what goes in your brain, and the people who you have around you are either going to support your desires or they're going to take away from your desires and your dreams. When we keep an open mind, when we have a quest to learn something new, that changes what we put in our brain, and that changes our consciousness. Now, when I talk to you about your consciousness, I mean the thoughts that you are aware of. All of us have thoughts that are in our awareness, and all of us have thoughts that are outside of what we're aware of. We get in life what we focus on most. So if you have a feeling that there's not enough money in the world, if you have a feeling that no matter where you are in your life right now, you just can't get ahead or the system is against you, your mind and your consciousness will confirm that. Now, here's how it works. With our thoughts, we're kind of like traffic cops, and we're directing success, happiness, and wealth away from us or towards us. Okay? So if you could imagine being a traffic cop in the middle of a very busy intersection, he or she is engaged in the act of moving traffic in this direction or in that direction. Or another way for you to be able to visualize it in your mind's eye, they're directing traffic towards them, waving both of their arms towards them, or directing traffic away from them. Well, you see, we do the same thing when it comes to money. We direct wealth, financial freedom towards us based on our thoughts and our programming, or we direct it away from us. Now, when you're directing money away from you, that is lack. You're engaging in a bunch of ideas, habits, and patterns that keep money from coming directly towards you. Some of that has to do with the people that you're around, how you were programmed, what your parents told you about money and wealth, okay? But when you keep an open mind, you allow for a change in your consciousness. When you keep an open mind, you're open to receiving thoughts and information that's other than what you've been exposed to and what you currently believe to be real, true, or untrue. So if you want to make a lot of money financially, in the stock market, in business, you have to be willing to keep an open mind so that your consciousness, the thoughts that you're aware of and the thoughts that you're unaware of, can change. And that's the magic. People say, I really want to be rich. What should I do? Well, the first thing you should do is keep an open mind so that the right information can actually find you and that you can learn the practice or the modality for bringing more money towards you. And that's really what this podcast is all about. As its core is that you listen enough to realize if you really want to be rich through investing or in the stock market, it is achievable. Even if all the people around you say that's not real, you know that there's something else out there because this podcast is showing you that. So I always like to say, if you're a regular listener to the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast, you are in the right place at the right time, getting the right information. Why? Because me and my students have discovered something that allows us to create monthly residual income and financial freedom. And that something is the stock market. Number 2, if you're really interested in creating more financial success in your life, is you're going to need a plan. Now, I always say that wealth is nothing more than a series of positive habits. People who don't have money, they're engaged in a series of negative habits, again, directing money away from you. When you have a shift in your consciousness, now you can direct more money towards you by getting the right information. And once you know that something like the stock market is out there for you, now you need a plan. How do you get involved? What should your next step be? Well, the first step that you may want to do with a very small amount of money is just open an online brokerage account. Now, that could be at E-Trade, that could be at Fidelity, that could be at Charles Schwab, or my personal favorite, TD Ameritrade. When you open an account, that is a positive habit. When you open a trading account, that is a positive habit. Remember, all rich people do is engage in positive habits of a financial nature over and over and over and over again. So maybe your next step is just to open an online trading account with, let's say, $500. Now, you're going to say to me, Tyrone, how could $500 help me to be financially free? The truth is, it's not. It is one positive habit. It is your next step to get you going. After you open your online trading account, if you want financial freedom in the stock market, you're going to have to create a plan, an investment plan. How much of your money are you going to put into that account on a monthly basis? A lot of times people will say to me, Tyrone, I opened an account with $4,500. Will I be rich by next Tuesday? No, $4,500 is simply not enough money to make you rich and have financial freedom for the rest of your life, but it's a great place to start. So if you really want financial success, you have to have a plan. So if I open up an online brokerage account, with, let's say, $500, can I put $250 a month away? What is my plan with my money? What is my plan with my income tax refund? That's a big one. A lot of people spend their income tax refund instead of taking 50% of it and putting it into a stock. Now, we've covered consciousness. We've covered having a plan. Now you're going to need a financial education. How do I take that money that's inside my online trading account and start to grow it? How do I pick a stock that has the highest probability of going higher? So you see, your brain will help you manifest more wealth if you open your mind, open your consciousness, and then have a plan so that money can start to work for you. You see, when you have a job, you are trading your time for income. And that's what we're taught in school, and that's perhaps what we've seen our parents do, or our grandparents, or all the people around you. So therefore, that seems real. That seems realistic. But when you start to put money to work, money starts to work for you. And instead of trading time for dollars, your dollars start working for you. And when you get in the habit of putting your money to work, then it's simple. You can have financial freedom. Now let's get to number 3 on my secrets to success. Number 3 goes like this. If you want to be financially successful, your next step is to get around people who are 10 times more successful than you are. You see, people who earn as much as you do, they can't teach you anything about money and wealth, particularly if they're earning under 6 figures. People who are not making money in the stock market, just as an example, don't understand the stock market. So now if you have a plan and a shift in your consciousness, then you need to get around people who are earning $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month in the stock market. So now you are aligned with the people who are part of your newfound consciousness. You see, if you're around people who make $30,000 or $50,000 a year, there is a certain consciousness around that and a certain belief system around that. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that these people are bad at all. But if you're making $50,000 a year and you'd rather make $150,000 a year, then you have to change your friendship circle. Now, not everybody in your life is meant to be in your life forever. It was once said that people enter your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. A reason, a season, or a lifetime. Some people in your life are meant to be close to you until you turn 21. Why? Because you're meant to grow up with them, learn things from them, evolve, have great feelings and experiences. But when it's time for you to start earning money, to go to a higher level, you may need a new set of friends who reflect your new consciousness, your new values, and your new desires. Do you see how this all is kind of connected? So although I didn't come from a family with a lot of money, there came a time in my life where I had to be around people who were earning more than what I was earning because that was the only way for me to stretch, for me to learn, for me to grow, because I had desires and a consciousness that said I should have more and I could have more and it is possible. I had an open mind. So what do you think happened when I actually shifted my friendship circle to being around people who I genuinely liked, who earned twice as much as I did? I developed their habits. Why? Because wealth is nothing but a series of positive habits. So if you want to double or triple your income, you need to get around people who earned 3 times as much as you do so that you can develop the positive habits and learn from them what they do with money and how they invest it and put it to work. These are very simple steps. There are no roadblocks. There's nobody telling you can't go get a new set of friends. Where would you go? Well, maybe you would go to a different church, the church in a very wealthy neighborhood. Maybe you would join a very expensive workout club, health club, right? So that you can be around more successful people. Maybe you start going to readings or openings of museums or spend more time at your museums or volunteer for a committee at a museum. Why? Because rich people volunteer because they have the time and they have the money. So getting around rich people and people who have more than you do, generally speaking, it doesn't cost you anything. There are ways to do it with no cost. I happen to like the expensive health club because very often people meet and socialize at the gym, and that's where you'll find a lot of people who can afford a gym membership who earn 3 times as more as you do. You guys have workout in common, take a class, you spark new friendships, and it's all reflective of your new consciousness. So that's another great way to really change your life. Don't be afraid to not be the smartest one in the room. A lot of people who are financially educated also have higher education, and you may feel like I don't know as much as they do. But guess what? They're helping to elevate your consciousness, elevate your ideas, and elevate your life. It is great to always be learning from other people. When you embrace that, you'll see your life begin to change. Now, on the other side of this break, I'm going to share with you my number 4 and my number 5 about how to have more success in my 5 secrets for success financially and in life.
You're listening to the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Want to learn more about how to trade and invest in the stock market? Visit thewealthyinvestor.net/products. That's thewealthyinvestor.net/products and order the Wealthy Investor's Guide to Stock Market Success audio series. This easy-to-follow 5-CD audio series and manual will teach you the basics of how to buy and sell stocks, how to collect quarterly dividends for life, plus hidden income generating strategies like covered call writing and volatility trading. Start creating financial freedom right now. Get the financial education you need to get ahead. Visit thewealthyinvestor.net/products.
Wealthy Investor, Wealthy Investor, wealthyinvestorradio.com.
And welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about these ideas and notions that you can quickly put into place to change your life if you'd like to have more financial success and success in general in your life. So now I'm going to share with you my number 4 and number 5 ways to elevate your consciousness and start experiencing more financial success in life. Here we go. Number 4, and a lot of people laugh at this one, but it really does work. And I'm going to challenge you. Try this for 1 week and you'll see things begin to change. Here's what I want to tell you. Wealth is a feeling first. Wealth is a feeling first. When you begin to feel more abundant, abundance will show up in your life. And the easiest way to manifest more success in your life is to show up early for all of your appointments. Why? Wealth is a feeling first. And if you show up 15 minutes early for every appointment, you get in the habit of having an abundance of what? Time. You know what it's like to get someplace and not feel rushed, not feel under stress, not be worried about what you're going to say, okay? So if wealth is a feeling first, when you get in the habit of having more time in your life because you were early, you will also get in the habit of having more money in your life. Having more money in your account, in your savings account, in your checking account, because you have a spending plan, more money in your life, and you're going to get comfortable. And you know what happens when you start getting comfortable with having an abundance of time? It spills right over with your money. You know what happens when you get used to having an abundance of money? It becomes a positive habit and your money grows. So if you have a spending plan that's reflective of your consciousness and you know how much money you're going to put in your savings account and in your online trading account, and you show up early, all you're doing is cultivating a positive habit of having more than what you need over and over and over and over again. The scientific community tells us it takes about 90 days to start a positive habit. Well, here's the benefit of having more time and having more money reflective of your new consciousness. Once you've developed that positive habit consistently over time, that habit is what you're going to pass on to your kids, the people around you. Whenever you're in a leadership position, you will pass that message on. Believe it or not, just by practicing being early for all of your appointments, you'll be engaging and sending the message to yourself of comfort, ease, relaxation. And how you do that and how you manage time in your life is going to help you manage your money better. It's all about becoming conscious of your ideas and thoughts. And finally, number 5, and we don't hear this one talked about very much in the business world or in the investment world, but I want you to hear it straight from me, Tyrone Jackson, the wealthy investor, first. Are you ready? It goes like this. Be kind to others. Be kind to others. Now, I'm not talking about sacrificing your happiness so someone else can be happy, but being kind to others. Instead of being so focused on yourself, when you see someone who you are connected to or you love or care about, ask a little bit more about them. How are they doing? How is their family? How is their life? How are they feeling today? Give them a compliment. I like that dress that you have on. That tie looks good on you. I'm not talking about altering your entire personality, but how much does it cost you to be nice throughout the course of your day? The reality is, it costs you nothing to be nice. Now, what I've learned in business in all aspects of my life is kindness is remembered. Why? The world doesn't need another person who's so wrapped up in themselves. The world benefits from just a little bit more kindness in a day. So very often you'll hear me when my guests on the show, I always thank them both in front of the mic and behind the mic because I really do appreciate their time and coming in and telling the story. But here's where I learned my biggest lesson around kindness in life, and it's always stuck with me. One day, I was flying from Los Angeles to New York. Now, this is many, many years ago before I could, exclusively do first class travel like I do now. And I was in coach. Nothing wrong with being coach. I flew there for many, many, many years. And there was, for some reason, I can't remember exactly why, there was a problem with my ticket. And I got in that long line, and I'm waiting to get up to the representative from the airline, and I'm going step by step by step, and I'm getting closer and closer and closer. And the guy who was in line before me was really agitated. And because he didn't like waiting on that long line, he had decided when he was going to get to that flight representative, that representative from the airline, he was going to let her have it. Now, we all feel that frustration from time to time, but I got closer and closer to the line, and when this gentleman was ahead of me, he was ready. And when she said next, he laid into this woman, and literally for about 15 minutes, he just read her the riot act. She tried to change his flight and his seat and all of that, and he left angry and frustrated, and she was wound up and on edge because of the experience. She looks at me and she says, "Next," with a little bit of a bite. And I went up to this woman purely out of kindness and I said, "I don't know what was wrong with that guy, but I'm just going to try to make your life as easy as possible because I just want to get on my flight." And she says, "Okay, Mr. Jackson." And her frustration slowly starts to go down. She goes, "Yeah, I just don't know what was wrong with him either. Where are you going?" And I said, "I'm going from LA to New York." And she says, "Okay. And what time would you like to fly?" And we exchange that information. And she says, "You know what? Because you were so nice, I am going to bump you up to first class. We have an extra seat in first class." Now, for me, that was big to fly first class on a coach ticket because I had never flown first class before. And at the end, she goes, "Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time." And I was like, "Well, thank you." And that was the first time I really saw that wonderful illustration of all I did was walk up and be a nice guy, compliment her a little bit, and just promised her that I was not going to be like the guy before me, right? That positive energy got me bumped up to first class. So when I ultimately started my own business, guess what the criteria was for people who worked for me? They had to be able to be nice to others. Positive energy goes a long way. Kindness goes a long way. Now, in business, sometimes it's a little bit tricky because you can't be nice to everyone because not everybody's a nice person. And we all still have to run a business for a profit, right? But in that process, how much does it cost you to be nice, to be kind? It costs you zero. A little bit of kindness will go a long way. So if you open your consciousness to some other things possibly being true, maybe you've never seen yourself as someone who could be wildly successful in the stock market. I'm here to tell you, with the right education, you can. If you stay away from negative people, then your consciousness has to change because you'll be around people who have a more brighter orientation. If you want to be financially successful, while you have this open mind, you have to create a plan. One of the vehicles that's perfect for manifesting more wealth and residual income in your life is the stock market. That means you're going to have an education. Now, I want to stop here on this idea of a plan and education as I recap these principles. You don't necessarily have to study with me or go to my website or download any of my products at all. That's not really what it's about. What it's about is that you get the right information to learn more about the stock market as a wealth manifestation vehicle and how it works from anybody you choose and anyone you feel comfortable with. Again, back to the recap, remember that successful people give themselves an abundance of time because wealth is a feeling first. So within the next 90 days, can you try showing up early for all of your appointments? You'll get in the habit of showing up without stress or strain. And hopefully, as you begin to decide how much money you can put away in a savings and investing account, you'll get in the habit of what it feels like to have even more money. Okay? It's all about bringing down your stress and strain because in this life, you were actually meant to be happy. Okay? Kindness. How much does it cost you to be kind? Nothing. Very, very important principle in business and in life that is often overlooked. So if you take these principles and just try them on for size, like a new blouse, a new shirt, a new pair of shoes, just try them. Don't be surprised when your world starts to change. Don't be surprised after 90 days when your financial life starts to look a little bit different. Hey, I do this podcast every week to pass on my ideas and to help you get some tools, not only for your brain, but also in your life that will be of tremendous benefit to you. It's my hope that you feel my intention. This show is not only informative, but it is high on your list as a source of positive energy. Remember, positive energy lifts up not only you, but also the people around you. Hey, I hope you got some value out of my 5 secrets to financial success in life and in business, and you can try on some of these principles. You'll find they'll work for you in a big and major way. This is Tyrone Jackson, the Wealthy Investor, thanking you for spending time with me. And with that, I wish you happiness, positivity, and financial success.
You've been listening to the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Be sure to rate and review our show on iTunes. While you're on iTunes, be sure to click the subscribe button and you'll automatically receive our next episode.